We've officially arrived at the beginning of the next chapter of our journey.
It's just hard to believe.
The dream of having the space to provide for and take care of ourselves and our family has been alive in both of us long before we moved into the scamp. Living nomadically in our tiny trailer well below our means has been the most viable path to realize this dream.
Our strategy was to use what we had and upgrade it slowly as money and experience allowed. We lived frugally, paid off debt, saved money for 4.5 years, with the goal in mind, but no official deadline, knowing it would come into our lives when the time was right. Sneak up from behind, and if they do... We traveled all over the West to decide where we would like to call home, and learned bits of information from each area we lived in, turning this experience into criteria.
In Arizona, we learned that desert land can often be more affordable. Dry climates are great for tiny living, and dry air makes temperature regulation easier. Utah reminded us that the right community is important. Having like-minded people around us is a must. In Oregon, we realized how difficult wet climates are for us, though they make great foraging areas. Every direction seems to go against the wind. Colorado has always felt like home. The mountains are endlessly inspiring, and the native animals make us feel alive. There's something about being at high elevation that has always felt right to us.
Our experience in these states and several others helped us refine the criteria for our search. The things we were looking for were arid climate, good soil, non-discovered and non-desirable land, far away from luxury, small population, 1 to 2 hours from town, trees, space between neighbors, public land access, water access, loose building codes, and the freedom to use the land how we want.
This may seem like a choosy list, but strictly refining our needs made the search far more manageable. We had no need to settle on anything less than ideal because we thoroughly enjoyed the life we had in this camp.
Oh, sunny day.
Oh my god!
Feeling so sublime, it's a blue day. I'm
Just gonna run it.
why sometimes it feels like they take me by surprise, and if they do stay.
We knew the land would come into our lives at the right time. We kept our eyes out, but we never felt a sense of urgency.
Wave on an ancient tide, just like a blue wave beneath a changing sky.
We spent the last winter in an area we have come to love, so we had been searching through land listings a few times a week. Most listings in the area were either flat and dry with no trees or phenomenally expensive. A few properties had caught our eye, but the rules and regulations were often too strict.
As the weather warmed, we were exploring a new area in hopes of finding fresh spots to camp this summer. We found a beautiful area with prehistoric rock formations, beautiful views, and big pinyon pines. Elsa actually made a story about this spot on Instagram.
As we drove back to the scamp that evening, I got online just to see if there were any properties in the surrounding area. There was a property I had come across a few times, but it only had one photo that didn't make the property seem very desirable at all. The next day, we parked the scamp near those epic rock formations and realized that the property was only 2 miles away, so we went to check it out.
We're on our way to go look at some land. To buy. Maybe.
The land was beautiful, and surrounding forest land was endless. Our first time driving by it, we started jokingly calling it ours.
Yeah, pretty cool. Private property. It says. That's ours.
The land is surrounded by national forest, and we could almost see the scamp from the hill above the property.
Then the research began. We spent a couple weeks sleeplessly digging into all the information we could on buying raw land, learning to understand the contracts, stipulations, jurisdictions, laws, requirements, and the like. Next, we dove into our options for water, the prospects of drilling a well, and how to handle waste. It was super overwhelming, and neither of us slept very well in that time. Looks like somebody started building something small.
After many conversations, considerations, miles of contemplative walks, and a few tears, we made an offer on the property and came to an agreement in a few days. Then we waited trepidatiously, telling as few people as we could, hoping not to jinx the situation before our closing day came.
Kind of nervous and excited. Not as much nervous as I am ready to, get this rocking. Because we've been in kind of a limbo mode for a long time. Or what feels like a long time.
That, so I just need your signature there. And I'll email your documents as soon as everything is set, and you'll know by then that everything is done.
Okay.
Okay? So
We get a big
congratulations.
certificate or something?
You get a warranty deed. Sounds better than a certificate, actually, because it's recorded.
Well, that was easy. Right? I thought that was going to take a long time.
Me too.
We officially closed on Earth Day, which happened to be Elsa's 30th birthday.
It's official. We're landowners. My 30th birthday. It's just hard to believe how fast it all happened. Is nuts. And how now this is just what we've always wanted. And now we have the coolest piece of property we could have imagined.
Pretty incredible.
We are now the proud owners of 40 acres of raw land in Colorado. Now a new chapter begins. We'll slowly be building and establishing our little homestead as we slowly accumulate funds to do so. And in the meantime, we will continue living in the scamp and traveling as we decide how exactly to proceed.
One of the major things that made our decision easier is knowing that we don't have to change anything in owning this piece of land. We can keep living nomadically to whatever extent we choose. Now we just have a place to land and build our dreams into reality. It feels good. We're stoked and we can't wait to share the next chapter of our journey with you.
If you haven't already, make sure you check out the Normal to Nomad podcast episode where we talk about this land purchase in detail. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.